everyone. Do you know that September 2nd is celebrated as World Coconut Day? I didn't know this until my friend sent me a message this morning. There is a day to celebrate coconuts in this world. Wow, the importance of coconuts and how they contribute to our lives. And the theme for the 2023 Coconut Day is Coconuts Transforming Lives. Interesting, right? So, when I started reading about the World Coconut Day and why it is celebrated, I came across this very interesting folk tale from a very far away place from here. See, I live in Ernakulam, Kerala, which is known for coconut trees. In fact, coconut tree is the official state tree of Kerala. But this story that I want to share with you today is from a place called the Polynesian Islands. A very long time ago, a very beautiful girl, Sina, lived with her parents in a small hut in an island. Now, close to a hut, there was this huge, beautiful freshwater lake where she loved to swim. So every day, she would go swimming into that lake for a long time. And one day, while she was swimming in that lake, she suddenly felt something close to her, something slippery, something soft. And when she looked, it looked like a snake to her. She was jolted a bit. She moved aside and she again looked. But it was not a snake. Its head was bigger and it looked like an eel, a fish. So she thought, oh, it's just a fish. And then she just continued to swim for some more time and then she went off, finished her swimming session and went into her hut. Now, the next day, she again dived into the lake for swimming. And there again, she noticed the same eel circling around a rock as if it was waiting for her to come. And once again, when she started swimming, it started swimming close by, just following the strokes that she was doing. And it seemed like the eel was enjoying swimming with Sina. Now, Sina loved animals, so she didn't mind it. And soon she also started enjoying the swimming, and they spent long hours swimming together in the lake. They became good friends, and she started spending a lot of time with the eel. And she looked forward to her swimming sessions every day with the eel. Now, one day, as she went out of the lake after her swim session and sat on the shore of the lake, on the banks of the lake, the eel followed her and to the bank. Now she wondered, an eel, a fish, how can it stay out of water? But as this thought was going on in her head, suddenly the eel transformed into the most handsome, smart young man. She could not believe her eyes. She looked at it with great surprise. Or rather, she looked at the man with great surprise and like, you, how come? She asked. And the man replied, I am Tuna, the king of the eels. And I really wanted to spend time with you. I love spending time with you. And that is how I used to come every day to swim with you in this lake. But now it is time for me to go, and I cannot stay with you any longer. I cannot spend time with you any longer, he said. Now, poor Sina, she felt really sad. She's like, really? You really can't stay with me? I've grown so fond of you, and I can't think of staying away from you, she said. Yes, Sina, I have to leave. I have to leave for good. But before I leave, I can give you a gift that will remind you of me forever. Tomorrow morning, I will come to your hut in the form of an eel. And when you see me, please cut my head off and bury my head in your backyard, close to your hut. Sina was shocked, taken aback. Before she could say anything, Tuna just dived back into the lake and disappeared. She couldn't believe what she heard. Anyway, the next morning, when she opened the door of her hut, there lay Tuna at her doorstep in the form of an eel. And she looked at him lovingly. She didn't have the heart to cut his head off. She just stood there, gazing. But the eel looked at her as if persuading her to cut his head off. So she took the axe and raised it up and with one blow cut the head off, and then took the head carefully and buried it close to her hut in her backyard. She couldn't believe what she had done. She became very sad and depressed. She sat near the spot where she had buried Tuna for many days and cried, and the tears from her eyes would drop into the soil where she had buried Tuna. But one day, she noticed a green sapling shoot out of the ground right at the spot where she had buried Tuna. She was thrilled. She took great care of the sapling. She watered it, she nurtured it with fertilizers, and soon the sapling grew into a tall, strong tree, just like the one you're seeing behind me. And it bore a lot of fruits, green fruits. And one day, one of the green fruits dropped to the ground. She picked it up. It was a hard shell outside. So she removed the shell with great difficulty. She took a knife and she cut it open. She removed the outer thick shell. And what do you think she found inside? She found the coconut. And what do you think it looks like? Two eyes and a mouth? Yes, it just looked like the eel's face. Tina was really happy. This was the best gift that she had received. And now she knew that as Tuna had promised, he was there with her forever. Interesting story, isn't it? About how a coconut tree came into being and why coconuts have two eyes and a mouth. This is just a story, but I want you to go and find out why coconuts actually have these three brown spots, which looks like two eyes and a mouth. Okay, so until I see you next time with another story, tata and bye-bye.